no, this is mighty unfair.
Show your power. See if you're an alpha. Okay.
Otis weighs 330 pounds.
Are you kidding
and
me?
Bianca Belair with ease.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, a place to be. Chill, Mercedes back with some more another Friday Night Smackdown review for January 22nd, 2021. And Smackdown was killing it this week. Smackdown was another good episode this week. The WWE has been doing pretty good on reviews on the shows for Smackdown. So Smackdown starts off, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman come out to the ring, and they're a little upset about the little stint that Adam Pearce pulled last week. So then he calls Adam Pearce out and he says, look, you haven't had a match in what, 5, 6 something years? Well, guess what? I've been doing this every single day, and you talk about some of your body hurts. My body hurts, and I'm the one sitting there giving it my all, and I'm at the position I am because I grind out hard for this. And so Paul Heyman is laughing at him, and he said, Adam Pearce says, look, I'll take this stuff from Roman Reigns, but I'm definitely not going to take it from you. And then Roman Reigns says, hold on, Paul, he's disrespecting you, and if he disrespects you, he's disrespecting me, so you need to handle that. So then Paul comes out talking about stuff. Wait a minute, did you just disrespect the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns? Did you you just disrespect the guy with the Iron Whitey family? I knew this family when I was 15 years old. And then he said, do you not know what the Iron Whitey family can do? He said, first of all, and don't disrespect me because, first of all, I am from New York and I will whoop your ass. And I like the way he said just like that. And he says, I may not be a lawyer, but I know a whole synagogue full of them. So, to this, like the statement that they have here in Florida of a handshake agreement, we're going to have a match. He said, I got something big. Why don't we do Paul Heyman versus Adam Pearce tonight? And then Adam Pearce shook on it, so we're about to do, they want to do a Paul Heyman versus Adam Pearce match tonight. And I was just like, I know that's not going to happen, but hey, I thought that was a pretty dope way to start the show off. Sami Zayn is at the bottom of the ramp, and Sami Zayn comes out and is talking about, hey, that he's now protesting because of the injustices. What happened with Apollo Crews? So he takes the handcuffs himself to the barricade, and then handcuffs himself as well. So now he's just stuck on the barricade, and then he's just going to be out there protesting as he's about to talk with this whole documentary crew out there. Asuka and Charlotte come out there. They're getting ready for their match against the Riot Squad. So we get the Riot Squad versus Charlotte and Asuka. Good matchup going on here. Billie Kay's on the outside, and then Asuka's about to roll up Ruby Riott, but then Billie Kay gets on the apron and try to distract Asuka, but then Ruby Riott falls through, and then she pins Asuka, and she has the match won, but then Billie Kay gets off the rope and it distracts her, which then Asuka goes for a hip attack. Liv Morgan sacrifices herself, pushes Ruby Riott out the way. She gets the hip attack. Then Ruby Riott gets the code breaker, and then the natural selection by Charlotte, and that is the matchup. So they win. Billie Kay is causing some rift. She goes backstage, and she feels really bad, but she lets the Riot Squad know that she got them into the Royal Rumble. But Ruby Riott was saying, you ruined our chances for the tag team championships, and the Riot Squad was just better when it was just me and Liv, and walk off. And I agree, it was better when it was just her and Liv Morgan. And I'm saying they need to put the Iconics back together. Okay, put the Iconics back together. They need some. This stuff makes no sense, man. I'm like, they should have broke them up in the first place. And I'm like, well, please find a way to get them back together. So we are Dan Bryan's in the ring talking about he's entering the Royal Rumble, how he's going to win the Royal Rumble, but Cesaro comes out and Cesaro says, no, you're not winning the Royal Rumble. It's going to be me winning the Royal Rumble. But Dan Bryan's like, look, I'm not trying to hear all that. Put the mics down, take the jacket off, and we're going to fight, and we're going to finish what we did last week. And he says, no, I'm not going to fight you. He said, you're not going to be, you're not dressed to wrestle. But then here comes Dolph Ziggler comes out, interrupts, and says, I have the stamina, and me and Bobby gonna go into the Royal Rumble, so it looks like we're now gonna get a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match at Royal Rumble. And he says, besides my partner, Cesaro's the only person that can, kind of like hang with me, so I accept your challenge. So we get Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler. A pretty decent matchup, but it's pretty quick though. As Ziggler goes for the Famouser, and Cesaro catches him, like picks him up like a powerbomb, and flips him down to a neutralizer, and then pins him that way. Good matchup, I agree with. Reginald taking on Sasha Banks. So Reginald was a lot more smoother than he was the first time we seen him on SmackDown. And I'm not saying those moves weren't smooth when he was avoiding Sasha Banks, but these were like much more crisp. And at first he pulls out a rose with Sasha Banks and asks for a kiss, but Sasha Banks tries to slap him. He blocks the slap, but then she slaps him again. and then she tries to go for a German. Takes the arm, tries to go for an arm bar, but he flips out of it, and then he tries to go for a German suplex, but then she reverses it, and then he reverses it and slides, like rolls and slides from underneath the ring, then goes up on the apron and does the backflip again, and then I was like, oh, it is very impressive. Like it's very athletic to do, because I do a backflip off the apron, and I see how high them aprons are. I bust my ass. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then so she's on the outside. She tries to throw him to the steel steps, but he jumps up on the steel steps to the front flip like he's a Power Ranger, and almost falls into Carmella. But then Sasha hits him, and then gives him a meteor from the apron to the outside, and then slaps the drink out of Carmella's hand, rolls him back inside, tries to go for a crossbody, but Reginald catches her, but she turns it like around, like into a head scissors, into a armbar / bank statement, and then Reginald taps out. So I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't like a real much match like he was actually hitting on Sasha Banks, because WWE was not going to do that man on woman violence type thing. So, but I thought it was pretty good to showcase what Reginald could do and what's going on with that. So, Intercontinental Championship matchup, we have Big E taking on Apollo Crews. So, by the way, Sami Zayn the whole time is still out there handcuffed to the barricade as he's watching all this stuff. Then Big E taking on Apollo Crews. The bell starts, and then Big E gives Apollo Crews the belly to belly, which lands him right there on the apron, gives the big splash. Then Apollo Crews mounts a comeback with a bicycle kick, and then a standing moonsault himself, and Big E kicks out, and then he goes to the top rope. We still have good back and forth action here. Then he gets a front drop kick to Big E, but then when the outside, when I pay attention, that Sami Zayn has uncuffed himself, and now he runs in and gives a haluva kick to Apollo Crews and a haluva kick to Big E. So that's how that goes on. All the men are probably going to be in the Royal Rumble, but I do believe Apollo is going to get this championship before WrestleMania, or maybe even at WrestleMania. But I think he's going to be a heel. He needs to be a heel first. The Street Profits are backstage with a big gift basket for Sonya Deville and ask her if she's ready, which is terrible version of Montez Ford for me. And he said, that we've been sitting there waiting for a couple weeks and we have not got our tag team title shot rematch. And Sonya says, look, you are 2-time Slammy Award winners and one of the best tag teams on SmackDown. You deserve a rematch, but Montez, your leg is still injured, and if you go out there and have a match now, they're going to re-injure your leg, and then you're going to be out, and then you're more valuable to us on SmackDown. So stay backstage, do the stuff that you do, hype up the show and everything like that, and then when you're 100%, then you go and get shot at the championships. And then, so they kind of begrudgingly, accept, what she says and give her the basket as Deville walks off. Me personally, I feel as though that it's going to be a great opportunity. You probably have the Dirty Dogs do something and try it all out and everything like that. But then have the Street Profits win it back, and then Jimmy's back, and then he can join Roman Reigns, and the Usos can beat the Street Profits at WrestleMania for the titles. Because the Usos taking on the Street Profits will be a dope matchup at WrestleMania. It'll be good to see like a standard tag team match instead of just throwing all the tag teams in there. We're about to get ready for Bayley's obstacle course when it comes to her and Bianca Belair. So she lays it all out. We got the whole 400-pound tire, and they have a flip over just once. And then they go to the whole chopper things. And then we got the military walls, 3 military walls. Then you get the fireman carry. She went to Alpha Academy to bring out Chad Gable and carry him over the fireman's carry over the finish line, and then take a basketball and put it through the hoop. And when it's after it goes to the hoop, that's when the time is. So Bayley is the one, she shuts the timer. So she barely gets over the tire, flips over the tire. She runs down and does the little chop things, and then she's about to climb the walls, but she kind of avoids the walls, even though I know in real life Bayley could probably do all this stuff, but being a heel. Then she takes Chad Gable. She kind of struggled a little bit to get Chad Gable fireman's carry. As she can see her wobbling going over the line. She takes the basketball. She misses the layup, but then she hits it again. And then so now it's Bianca Belair's turn. Bianca Belair looking tight, and she looks ready. And I'm telling you right now, Bianca Belair, Boo Boo's an athlete. All right, you could tell by the way the muscles was just going in this. She's an athlete. So she starts off, flips that 400-pound tire, no problem. Goes, but now Bailey EST'd it up for her a little bit, so now she has to add the actual running hurdles. And you know she did that check, so she's running the hurdles easily, and she climbs all 3 of the military walls, and she's about to do Chad Gable. Well, not about to do him, but carry him over for 5 minutes. Carrie says, "No, I'm not the one you're carrying." And then, oh yeah, here comes Otis comes out, and she puts Otis on her shoulders, and literally with ease carries Otis over the finish line, 330 pounds on her shoulders. Grabs the basketball, tells Bailey, "Come on up, stick D." So she crosses Bailey up, makes Bailey fall, and one mixtape, and then hits the dunk on there. And Bianca Belair wins the obstacle course, pissing Bailey off. Bailey had a time of 1:12, and Bianca Belair beat that time, even though I did see the rewinding time and stuff like that. It's all for storyline and stuff like that. But so after that, Bailey hits Bianca Belair with the basketball, starts beating it down, throws it into the basketball hoop and everything. So both women are gonna be in the Royal Rumble. Please let Bianca Belair win the Royal Rumble. I hope Vince does not change his mind like he did with Shayna Baszler to say, we're gonna put it on Charlotte. No, please have Bianca Belair win the Royal Rumble. Unless they send a thing about they're gonna have Becky Lynch back, and I'm like, oh come. I mean, I love the man Becky Lynch, but it needs to go to Bianca Belair. King Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio is up next. Dominic Mysterio doesn't get about that much offense at all. I mean, it's like a glorified squash match. He has him on the ropes. He kind of flips him up, and Dominic lands on his feet, but gets punched down against the end of days, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Corbin wins. Doesn't matter. Main event time. Paul Heyman versus Adam Pearce. As Paul Heyman comes out in his suit, and he says suit on. Adam Pearce comes out with, like he takes his shirt off, like he's ready to go. But then, just like Adam Pearce played him last week, card subject to change. And here comes Roman Reigns out, and he starts beating up on Adam Pearce, and Superman punches him and throws him into the LED audience, and puts him on top of the stage, and like he about to get ready to toss him off like he did Kevin Owens a couple weeks ago. But here comes Kevin Owens and starts beating down Roman Reigns, and they start to fight it, and they go into the ring. Roman's about to hit a Superman punch, but Kevin Owens kicks him, reverses it into a stunner. Good move right there. And then they keep on fighting. The referee had to come out and pull them apart. And then Owens goes into the ring, comes on the other side, kicks him and stuns Roman Reigns again. And you think he's done? He's not done. He picks him up, and then hits a pop-up powerbomb on Roman Reigns through the announce table as we end SmackDown. And that was SmackDown, folks. SmackDown was very good this week. I enjoyed it. I really loved it. It gets a thumbs up from me this week. You can post out the comments down below. How did you guys enjoy Friday Night SmackDown? Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review of it. Hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here on NC Studios. So once again, it's NC a place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.